She said I was just the safe choice, not her dream man. So I dropped her at her mom's, handed her a bag, and drove away without looking back. I wasn't digging through her phone, I swear. That's not my style. I didn't go looking for problems, and I didn't set out to catch her saying something hurtful. But sometimes, life just throws the truth at you when you least expect it. My girlfriend of 2 years left her phone face up on the bed while she stepped into the shower, and that's when it happened. A text preview popped up on her screen from her best friend that read, "Did you tell him yet? Well, you look. I wish I hadn't." My heart skipped a beat, and before I even touched the screen, I knew something wasn't right. Curiosity got the best of me, and I opened the message thread. A few scrolls back, I found it, the sentence that crushed everything. She'd written, "I finally told him, you're just the safe choice, not my dream man." I sat there in silence, her phone still lit in my hands, the sound of the water still running in the background as she showered, completely unaware of the storm that had just exploded in my chest. At first, I thought maybe I misread it. Maybe it was taken out of context. But no, it was clear. The words were hers, and she meant them. Safe choice. That phrase echoed in my head over and over like a bad song you can't turn off. This was the same woman who used to talk about marriage, houses, moving across the country to start a life together. We spoke about kids, shared dreams, and talked about growing old together. And now I find out I'm just the convenient option, the backup plan in case her life doesn't unfold the way she hoped. But I didn't confront her that night. I didn't burst into the bathroom with accusations or shouting. That's not who I am. Instead, I went quiet. I let the pain sink in. I paid attention. I watched her actions more closely, and suddenly, all the pieces started fitting together. The emotional distance, the coldness, the evasive answers when I talked about our future. It was all there. I just didn't want to see it before. A week later, we were sitting on the couch, half watching some show. I brought up the idea of moving in together again, something we talked about before. She didn't even look at me, just a casual, "We'll see," without emotion. It wasn't the words that got me. It was the way she said them, like she was already living in a different life where I didn't exist. That night, after she fell asleep, I scrolled through her messages again. The more I read, the more it hurt. Little comments like, "He's predictable, but he'd never leave," or, "I could never tell him what I really want. He's not the one I dream about." It was like being stabbed slowly with a dull knife. I was her emotional safety net, the nice guy she could rely on while she secretly hoped for someone else. That night, I didn't sleep. I just stared at the ceiling, wondering what version of our relationship she thought we were living in. I thought about the trips I'd paid for, the nights I stayed up comforting her, the birthdays I planned with so much effort. Suddenly, it all felt fake, like I'd been investing in a future she never truly believed in. A life I thought we were building together. But for her, it was just a stopgap, a place to stay until her real life showed up. The next morning, I told her I was going to visit my brother for a few days. She barely looked up from her phone. That's when I knew. In her mind, she had me figured out. The safe guy wouldn't leave. Why would he? I was predictable, right? But I didn't go to my brother's. I went to my parents' place instead, packed a few bags, sat down and made a real plan. She thought I'd never walk away, that I'd keep playing house, keep pretending everything was fine. But she didn't know me as well as she thought. For 2 years, she carried herself like she was doing me a favor by being with me. And maybe, just maybe, I used to believe that too. She was charismatic, beautiful, the kind of woman who could walk into a room and command attention. And me? I was the reliable one, not flashy, not loud, just consistent. And somewhere along the line, she mistook my stability for weakness. But I wasn't weak, just loyal, until loyalty became a prison. When I came back from that trip, I was already mentally checked out. I walked in like everything was normal, kissed her on the cheek. We ate takeout and talked about work. She had no idea that inside, I was already gone. Over the following days, I kept playing the role. She'd leave for hours on weekends, say she was out with friends. Never any details. always just vague enough. I stopped asking. I let her lie. She thought I wouldn't walk because I loved her too much. But love doesn't survive in a place without respect. And I knew now. She didn't respect me at all. One night, she came home late smelling like cologne that definitely wasn't mine. She mumbled something about dinner with coworkers. Didn't even look me in the eye. That was it. I knew then that the end had to come. I started quietly moving things into a storage unit. My documents, my valuables, anything that mattered. I kept pretending like everything was fine. I laughed at her jokes, held her hand in public. And then one Sunday morning, I told her we should drive to her mom's for a visit. She didn't question it. Just got ready, like everything was normal. We drove an hour, listened to music. She scrolled her phone the whole ride, occasionally laughing at memes. I smiled, nodded, let her think it was just another day. When we got there, she got out of the car, expecting me to follow her inside. I didn't. Instead, I got out, grabbed a small bag I'd packed for her, and handed it to her. "You're home," I said calmly. She looked confused. What? What do you mean?" I looked her straight in the eyes. "You told your friends I'm not your dream man, just the safe choice. So let's stop pretending. Let's stop wasting time." She tried to laugh it off. "Wait, are you serious right now?" I nodded. "Dead serious. We're done. You'll find your dream guy somewhere else." For the first time, she looked shaken. Like it had never crossed her mind that I might actually walk away. That this safe choice might actually choose himself. I got back in the car and drove away. It took less than 2 hours before my phone lit up. First, it was her. Missed calls, messages. "What the hell just happened? Are you seriously dumping me at my mom's like I'm a child? Let's talk. Be an adult about this." Then came the guilt trip. "I didn't mean it like that. You're taking it out of context. You're really throwing away 2 years over one conversation?" I didn't reply. Later that night, her mom called me. I let it go to voicemail. She left a message. "Hi, sweetheart. I don't know what happened, but she's here crying. Please call me back. You've always been so good to her. Don't let this ruin everything you've built." I just sat there listening. It would have been easy to believe her, but I already knew the truth. Her mom kept calling all week, texting too. "She's sorry. She didn't mean it. You know how girls get emotional sometimes. But that's the thing. Real love doesn't make you feel replaceable. It doesn't paint you as some placeholder while someone waits for their real life to begin." She spoke about me like I was disposable. That wasn't a mistake. That was honesty she never meant for me to see. I wasn't angry. I didn't want revenge. I didn't yell. I didn't try to make her feel small. I just walked away. You can't rebuild trust after that. Once you hear the truth, you can't pretend it didn't happen. Once someone shows you how little they think of you, you don't unsee it. I blocked her number. Blocked her mom too after the 10th message. I didn't do it out of spite. I did it for peace. I wanted my life back. My dignity. And I got it. Weeks later, a friend told me she'd been telling people I overreacted, that I was being dramatic, that I misunderstood. And honestly, that just confirmed everything. She never saw me the way I saw her. She wanted a guy who would accept half-truths and emotional scraps. That's not me. Last I heard, she was still living at her mom's, still telling people I blindsided her. But the truth is, she blindsided herself. She thought I'd always be there, no matter what. She thought I'd settle for being safe. Turns out, the safe choice knew when it was time to leave. She thought I'd never leave. She thought I was too predictable to walk away. But I did. And I didn't look back. In the weeks that followed, my life felt strangely quiet, but not in a lonely way, in a peaceful, liberating way. There were no more tense conversations, no more guessing games, no more pretending to be okay while feeling like a backup plan. I started rebuilding my routine, focused on my work, reconnected with old friends, and even picked up a few hobbies I'd let go of during the relationship. I'd forgotten how good it felt to come home to a place filled with my own energy. No secrets lingering in the air, no silent judgments hiding behind smiles. The absence of her wasn't a void. It was a space finally cleared for growth. I didn't feel bitterness. I felt clarity. And that was the first step toward healing. Sometimes, at night, I'd think back to the good times, the laughter, the road trips, the conversations that lasted until 2 a.m. And I'd wonder if any of it was real or just carefully crafted convenience on her part. But then I'd remember that text. Those words, safe choice, not my dream man. That wasn't said in a moment of anger or frustration. It was the kind of truth that slips out when people feel too comfortable to hide it. And as harsh as it was to swallow, I'm grateful I saw it. Because without that moment of truth, I might still be there, investing in a future that only I believed in. Now, I don't regret the 2 years. I regret not leaving sooner. But even that was a lesson about self-worth, boundaries, and the power of quietly choosing yourself when someone else won't. I haven't heard from her since that final message. No surprise calls, no drunken apologies, no last-minute, I miss you, texts. And that's fine, because I think on some level, she knew I meant it when I drove away that day. She knew the guy she thought would always be there had finally stopped waiting. These days, I'm focused on becoming the kind of man I can be proud of, not someone's backup plan, not someone's emotional crutch. Just me, fully present, fully free. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: being the safe choice doesn't mean you're boring or forgettable. It means you're solid, loyal, and worth far more than anyone who fails to see it. And sometimes, the real power isn't in fighting to stay. It's in standing up, saying nothing, and walking away forever. Hit that like button, share if you've ever been the safe one, and subscribe for more stories where respect always wins.